Breaking news. Catastrophic earthquake in Santorini unveils hidden supervolcano.
Small and quiet. Behind me, you can see a caldera, a volcanic crater.
Santorini, Greece. A massive earthquake measuring 8.2 on the Richter scale struck the idyllic island of Santorini early this morning, sending shockwaves through the region and beyond. The seismic event, which occurred at approximately 3:47 a.m. local time, has left the picturesque tourist haven in chaos, with thousands scrambling for safety as buildings crumbled and power lines collapsed. Authorities report extensive structural damage to both residential and historical sites, including parts of the island's iconic whitewashed villages. While the devastation from the earthquake itself is staggering, scientists have made an even more shocking discovery in its aftermath: an enormous underground caldera, evidence of a previously undetected supervolcano lying beneath the island. Geologists and volcanologists worldwide are now rushing to assess the implications of this find, fearing it could pose a long-term threat not only to Greece but to much of Europe and the Mediterranean region. This is one of the most significant geological discoveries of the century, said Dr. Eleni Papadopoulos, a leading volcanologist from the Hellenic Institute of Geophysics. The quake revealed deep fissures in the earth, exposing a massive magma chamber that had been hidden beneath Santorini's surface for millennia. If this supervolcano were to erupt, it could have catastrophic consequences, potentially rivaling some of the most devastating eruptions in history. Widespread panic and immediate aftermath. Emergency response teams have been deployed across the island, tending to the wounded and evacuating thousands of residents and tourists. Reports indicate that at least 250 people have been injured, with dozens feared trapped under rubble. Hospitals and medical centers are overwhelmed, prompting calls for international assistance. The Greek government has declared a state of emergency, calling for additional support from the European Union and global disaster relief organizations to manage the crisis. Authorities are also monitoring a potential tsunami threat, as seismic activity beneath the Aegean Sea continues. The Greek Meteorological Institute has issued warnings for coastal areas, urging residents to move to higher ground. Multiple aftershocks, some as strong as 6.5 in magnitude, have further destabilized the region, complicating rescue and relief efforts. Airports have been closed due to damage to runways, while ferries remain grounded as turbulent waves batter the coastline. Historical and geological context. Santorini has long been associated with catastrophic volcanic activity, most notably the massive Minoan eruption around 1600 BCE, which played a role in the collapse of the ancient Minoan civilization. That eruption was so powerful that it caused widespread climatic disruptions and sent tsunamis crashing into neighboring regions. However, today's discovery suggests that the volcanic forces beneath the island are far more powerful than previously believed. Dr. Andreas Nicolaou, a senior seismologist at the Greek Geodynamic Institute, explains, "This earthquake might have been a trigger event, unsettling the magma chambers deep below the surface. The caldera we've uncovered could be a ticking time bomb, much larger and more dangerous than we had ever anticipated." Adding to the concern, new underwater geological surveys have detected a growing bulge in the seafloor, indicating rising magma pressure. If this pressure continues to build, it could lead to a catastrophic eruption, either from the island itself or from a newly formed fissure beneath the Aegean Sea. Such an event could not only devastate Santorini but also trigger secondary tsunamis, affecting Greece, Turkey, and the broader Mediterranean region. Government and international response. In response to the unfolding disaster, Greek Prime Minister Alexandros Kouras addressed the nation, stating, "This is an unprecedented crisis." We are doing everything in our power to protect the people of Santorini and ensure their safety. We ask for patience and cooperation as experts assess the situation. World leaders, including those from the United States, the European Union, and neighboring Turkey, have expressed their condolences and pledged their support for relief efforts. The European Union has dispatched emergency relief teams, while NASA and the European Space Agency are using satellite imagery to monitor geological changes on the island. Countries with active volcano monitoring programs, such as Japan and Italy, have sent experts to assist Greek scientists in analyzing the caldera's potential activity. Ongoing risks and scientific investigation. As aftershocks continue to rattle the region, scientists are working around the clock to determine the likelihood of a major eruption. Teams of geologists are closely monitoring the island's seismic activity, using drones and underground sensors to map out the extent of the caldera and assess whether magma is moving towards the surface. Some experts have warned that even if an eruption does not occur in the immediate future, the earthquake could have triggered long-term changes in the volcanic system, making Santorini a high-risk zone for years to come. Satellite data and GPS readings show the ground in Santorini has risen by nearly 30 centimeters since the earthquake, a clear sign that magma movement is underway. Thermal imaging also indicates that temperatures beneath the island are increasing, raising concerns about the potential for hydrothermal explosions. Scientists worry that if pressure continues to build, a catastrophic eruption could occur with little warning. Mass evacuations and uncertainty. For now, residents and tourists remain in a state of fear and uncertainty, with many seeking to evacuate the island as quickly as possible. The Greek Navy and Coast Guard have mobilized emergency transport efforts, while major airlines are working to accommodate those attempting to leave. Meanwhile, local businesses and hotels are opening their doors to provide temporary shelter for those who have lost their homes. Authorities are prioritizing the evacuation of high-risk areas, particularly those closest to the caldera's newly exposed fissures. Emergency shelters are being set up on neighboring islands, and cruise ships have been repurposed as temporary housing for displaced residents. Among the evacuees is Maria Kostopoulos, a Santorini native who has lived on the island for over 50 years.